So unlike the past listings that we've been talking about that were mostly rumors and stuff that we're still taking with a grain of salt, we actually have some listings here that are 100% legitimate and come from an extremely reliable source in JT Prime 17. These Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom listings come courtesy of the German website Ideal Spiel, which is the main distributor of Lego, Playmobil, Pokemon Company, Mattel, and of course Hasbro products in the German and most of the surrounding German region. So these are legitimate, and some of these we've discussed before, but it also kind of reconfirms some stuff and also gives us a better indicator of some of the other stuff to come. So let's go through this quickly. Again, some of this might be a little bit of a repeat, but again, it confirms that these are real, and that's the most important thing. So the first one we have here is Core Class Soundwave. Now, we've discussed this before. We have a Core Class Soundwave coming. He was found in that extremely early Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom promotional art. We kind of just saw his arm, so we know that he's going to be something. What is he going to turn into? I'm hoping a little mini cassette player. That'd be really cool to have a little Core Class mini cassette player Soundwave. The slight little pieces of art that we've seen of him, whether it be an arm or a leg, kind of leans towards that old school G1 kind of look, but he might ultimately in the end transform into something else, just have a very G1 looking robot mode. We shall see. Next one is Core Class Dracodon. Now, this is the one that I was assuming, and I can be wrong, but it could be the crocodile fossilizer that was seen in a same thing, that promotional art that we saw a while back. That'd be really cool just to have something, that's, we're not going to be getting a Crocodile Beast Wars Megatron. So if we could get like a fossilizer that kind of does the same thing and maybe has a similar head sculpt and shape, that'd be a cool throwback. And then, the customizers could go to town on it and do their own version of it. And that'd be really awesome. And who knows, maybe eHobby or one of the Japanese, Hasbro Selects, Takara Selects kind of things could do a repaint down the line. That'd be pretty cool. Next is, and this is an interesting one, Deluxe Class Scorponok. Now, we kind of knew that he was going to be at some point in this toy line because he was showing up in the background of a lot of people's art and stuff like that. So it's not a surprise. Again, the Beast Wars character, not the Generation 1 character. So really cool Deluxe Class. I feel it fits, and long overdue. This character has not had a updated toy in a very, very, very long time. I mean, to my knowledge, and I must be forgetting something, but to my knowledge, anything even merchandise related, I think the last thing he had of that specific character was like 1998. And I think it was maybe the McDonald's toy. That was probably the last iteration of that character. Oh no, wait, I take it back. There was some collector club exclusive stuff on a limited capacity, but nothing that transformed into a Scorpion. Let's put it that way then. Let's put it that way. Nothing that transformed into a Scorpion of that character in a very long time, because the collector club stuff was that pre-Beast Wars Cybertron stuff. But either way, it's been a long time, long overdue. Finally, Scorponok, Don Brown's legendary voice acted character, finally getting a updated toy after all these years in the Deluxe Class price point. We also have Deluxe Class Wheeljack, probably going to be the Earthrise toy reissued. Seems to be a common trend, much like how we saw RC has been confirmed to be reissued for Kingdom. Wheeljack will probably fall into that same category. Hey, it's good for people that, maybe if they had difficulty during, the Big V in 2020, finding some Earthrise product, and specifically Wheeljack, here's your second chance if you didn't see him the first time in retail in your region. Going to the next Deluxe Class, we have Wingfinger. Now, we've discussed this one in the past before. We have no confirmation of who or what it is, but judging by the name, probably a pterodactyl. Going with the dino themes, if you have Wingfinger, not many things that have wings that are dinosaur-based, so it's probably going to be a pterodactyl. I guess this kind of also confirms that we probably won't be getting a pterosaur if it is a pterodactyl, because I don't think they'd be doubling up, although I could be wrong on that. They've doubled up some of the T-Rexes and raptor kind of stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, it's one of these things that if they don't give us a pterosaur, then I just really hope Wingfinger has a very pterosaur-looking kind of design, so that down the line maybe they could do something. Even if it's like a weird homage red repaint or something. Deluxe Class Trax is on here. Again, a character that the last time we've had an updated version of him outside of his masterpiece really was a Universe 2.0 Generations Classics chug, if you will, esque design. So to get an updated version of him, I'm curious how they're going to tackle him this time around. I wasn't a big fan of the original Classics-esque version. I found he was kind of short and stout. That probably was tied to the fact that he had to share mold with a bunch of other characters like Wheeljack, and then later on even Runabout and Runamuck. So it didn't fit him, in my opinion. So this will be interesting to see how they go. Will they make him more thin, like his more show-accurate counterpart and, of course, his masterpiece toy? Or they would go with something a whole different direction? And will he have a flight mode? And if he has a flight mode, I guess he has a battle to have, a wing thing in the air. Deluxe Class Shadow Panther. This one's pretty much a given. We have Cheetor. Not many things you could repaint Cheetor into, unless you want to completely remold him and do a Tigatron. So Shadow Panther's a given. You're going to take Cheetor from Kingdom, give him the black repaint, and he will sell well. People will love a Shadow Panther. I know I'll buy one. I love the idea of Shadow Panther. And considering what we've learned just recently of the history of how Cheetor was created and the character of Prowl and Panther and all of that, it's all going full circle back to the beginning in a lot of ways. Deluxe Class Pipes. Again, this one's another one that was pretty much a given when we found out that we were getting Huffer from the original art. And then when we finally saw the Huffer toy revealed all the way back in, I think, 2 months ago, it was pretty much a given. Oh, hey, we're going to get Huffer. And we're going to get Pipes. And the Huffer toy looks amazing. So I'm pretty sure the Pipes toy will be just as amazing. So that's another really exciting one to see. And again, Pipes, man, when have we gotten anything of him in a long while? It's always just been reissues or vague homages at best, like Armor Hide or something like that from Cybertron. Deluxe Class Slammer. Now, this one has not been confirmed what it is, but the general consensus is that it's going to be the partner member of Metroplex. So the belief is that it's going to be taking the Kingdom Warpath mold and doing a repaint/remold into a white kind of tank. I could see that. I'm curious how they're going to go about it. Like, how much is going to be remolded? How much is going to be repainted? How white is he going to be? Because that's the original Slammer was not a very exciting design. So I'm very curious how, what direction they're going to go in with that, if assuming that's what we all assume it's going to look like and that's the mold it's going to use. Deluxe Class Waspinator. This one, it's like, I really liked the Thrilling 30 Generations one. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really spot on. So, and it wasn't too long ago in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? So it's something where how much has the engineering has changed that we could revisit this character again, and what could we introduce to the mold this time around that'll make people want this one as a deluxe class as opposed to the original Generations Deluxe Class Waspinator. And again, I really like that Generations Waspinator, so I'm really curious what they're going to do this time around. That's all I could really say about that. And then, of course, you're going to get a Buzzsaw repaint out of it, so can't be too bad. Maybe a new head sculpt with it, too. Voyager Class Rhinox. I talked about this before. I really like the original Generations Rhinox, so I'm just like the Waspinator. I'm really curious, what are they going to do to really reinvent the wheel this time with him? Maybe lean more on the toy angle as opposed to the show angle. Give him something that has maybe more of a mutant head. Maybe, mind you, they probably won't do that because of the art that we've seen thus far. It shows more of the show accurate head. But maybe the weapons. Maybe he'll have a sword weapon from his tail like the original toy, as opposed to the dual Gatling gun that the Generations toy had. Maybe the Gatling gun, and I use air quotes here, accessory will be more similar to that of the toy, the original 1996 toy, which had a spinning gimmick, and it was more of a spinning boa weapon than it was a Gatling gun with a saw blade. Kind of a different interpretation. But again, pretty much spitballing here. We'll see definitely what happens. Voyager Class Tigatron, again, another one we talked about in the past. After we've come off of the Masterpiece, I'm really just hoping it's a mini Masterpiece. Voyager scale does lead to a bigger budget. If the Optimus Primal and the Dinobot is any indication of what the Voyager scale is in Kingdom and how great they are at working within the limited budget of a Voyager while looking at the masterpieces as inspiration, I'm hoping Tigatron knocks it out of the park like the previous two that I just mentioned did. Tigertron's going to, if it is what I think it is, it's going to be another home run success. And the last one here, almost coming on the heels of the War for Cybertron War for Cybertron Earthrise trilogy Netflix series, we have the Leader Class Galvatron. So we pretty much hope that he's going to look at least how he looked in the character model of the Netflix series. That's probably our best indicator of how he's going to look. Obviously, we've seen some pictures of him in the Kingdom art, so that gives us a good idea that he's going to look like his G1 counterpart. The only question is, how well is it going to be executed? A lot of people were not feeling that old Titan Returns version. That wasn't their definitive Galvatron. It had its hits, it had its misses. So it's something where we're going to see what happens with this one. And at a Leader Class price point, how big is it going to be? How small is it going to be? Is it going to be like, because when you think about Leader Class, it's not something like, let's say, the Optimus Prime, where it has a giant trailer with it, so that justifies the Leader Class price point and thus makes the Optimus a smaller figure, even though it's labeled a Leader Class. This one, because it's a Leader Class with nothing included with it, is it going to be a full-size Leader Class figure, or are they going to figure out some kind of way to make him smaller but still justify a Leader Class price point? So that's something I'm also kind of curious to see when it comes to balancing the budget with the size and then counting in the scale across everything in the line, because you wouldn't want to have a huge Leader Class Galvatron figure that's out of scale with everything else, especially when the past Galvatrons we've had in a Classics-esque kind of scale. We've had the Deluxe, which people weren't really feeling, too small. Then we had the Voyager, again, people weren't really feeling, and now we're at a Leader Class. How big is he going to be? So that's it, more or less. Not much else that could be discussed, but again, these are all 100% confirmed for Kingdom. No debate about it. These are coming thanks to JT Prime 17 and the advanced listings that were found through this German website, which is also a credible source because it's a main distributor in Europe. So that being said, there's nothing else to say other than tonight we have yet again a stream, so be sure to check that out. Tonight, Saturday. What's the date today? It's January 2nd. Oh man, I forgot. We're already the new year, people. We're already the new year. So I'll see you guys tonight on the stream, and we'll rediscuss everything that we have here today and everything we've been discussing this week with all the crazy stuff in Transformers.